Well, good morning, beautiful, and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. We are going to be doing some beauty on the outside and some beauty on the inside. We're going to do a full face makeup tutorial, and then we're going to memorize the Bible verse in the process of it and have all week long to work on that together. So my name is Wendy, and we are continuing on with our theme of October breast cancer awareness, using a whole lot of pink. So remember that while we are live with the podcast, you can ask any question, whether it be something about the Bible verse or something about the makeup, and I will do my best to get that asked and answered while we are live today. So what is our easy makeup theme for today? I'm so glad you asked. So, how to add just enough glitter to shine gracefully after 40. All right, so grab your lashes, grab your palette, grab your brushes, and get on back here. Let's get going. A little bit of makeup and Oh, that was interesting. That was our intro video that was cut a little short by some sort of technological glitch. So let's take a look at our Bible verse. This is our foundation verse for the podcast. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. And that is Psalm 119, verse 11. Now we are working through the book of James. We're in chapter 3 right now. And all of those verses are coming from the book Color Me James. You can get that at colormejamesbook.com. That is available in... We got a PDF or a, oh gosh, what is the word I'm looking for? Anyways, there's a PDF version so you can use it on your iPad or your phone and write and color right into it. Then there's a paperback version that's going to come from Amazon, and the spiral bound, which is my favorite because it lays out flat while you're writing or coloring the page or doing the word search or crossword puzzles or whatever. So that is available from the website colormejamesbook.com. Make sure you get connected to that email list as well, because that is going to have everything lined up for you and just put all your ducks in a row from continuing from the beginning of the book all the way through, or you can just jump in where we are now. All right. So our verse that we worked on last week was chapter 3, verse 10 to 12. And so if I can get over to it, let's go ahead and give a, well, actually, the song is not ready to go. So maybe we'll get to play that before the end, but we're just experiencing all kinds of technological glitches today. So isn't that just a fun world we live in? Technology is fantastic when it works the way that it's supposed to. So let's just look at that verse together. We're going to say it together. Confession. I do not have this memorized. Have the gist of it, but not the word for word. So I'm going to be reading it off that screen just like you are till I get that bad boy nailed down. So let's look at that together. My friends, this can't go. Oh, actually, I can't read it from there because there's a little too many words. Hold on. Let me. Okay, here we go. Go. Oh, ready? Okay, you got it on the screen. I got it in front of me now. My friends, this can't go on. A spring doesn't gush fresh water one day and brackish the next, does it? Apple trees don't bear strawberries, do they? Raspberry bushes don't bear apples, do they? You're not going to dip into a polluted mud hole and get a cup of clear, cool water, are you? All right, so that's what we were working on last week. I love that song, but alas, it's having a difficulty. So let's move on to our verse for this week, which is equally as long as the one from last week. But this one's really a lot of storytelling, so really like this one. The song for this is just about ready to go, so we should, it'll probably honestly be Friday before it gets released, but be looking out for it. So any of the Sailor Soul songs for Color Me James you can find on your favorite music streaming platform. Apple Music is always dragging a little bit in the rear. YouTube has it out very quickly, and then Spotify has it, usually trailing just a couple hours behind YouTube. So make sure to check that out. Let me grab my little cheat sheet here because I don't have this one memorized at all yet. Okay, so this week we're going to be in verse 13 through 16. Do you want to be counted as wise, to build a reputation for wisdom? Here's what you do. Live well, live wisely, live humbly. It's the way you live, not the way you talk, that counts. Mean-spirited ambition isn't wisdom. Boasting that you are wise isn't wisdom. Twisting the truth to make yourselves sound wise isn't wisdom. It's the furthest thing from wisdom. It's animal cunning, devilish plotting. Whenever you're trying to look better than others or get the better of others, things fall apart and everyone ends up at each other's throats. All right, I think we've all probably seen that just a little bit. So the point of James, as we're coming to nearing the finish line of chapter 3, is now we've gone from all these comparisons and metaphors and similes and things, and now we're going to move on to, okay, now that you know all these things, what you going to do about it? So now we're talking a little bit about wisdom, again, continuing on with that vein of thought of it doesn't matter what you say. It matters what's in your heart and what you do. And what's in your heart is going to be what you do. So we'll continue on with that this week. All right. All of the products that I use in the episode are going to be in the show notes of whatever platform that you're on. And then they're also going to be on the website, a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com/shop. Also, when you go to the homepage, all the ones that were specifically listed for this week's episode will be right there on the bottom of the page. So I've tried to make it super simple for you in case you just love something that I've used today. So hope you love this palette though, because today we're going to be playing with the Afflano Rose Curse. So I think this is going to be a little bit of fun. Love the pinks in this. We're only going to be using one of the pinks, but it will be great. Okay, so now we've got that big verses scrolling across the bottom of our screen. I am going to get the chat going here so I can see what you're saying. Go ahead and give me a shout out and let me know where you are. Good morning. Good morning, beautiful. All right, so give me a shout out. Let me know where you are coming from. I can, the way my setup is today, I can see less than normal. So I can't see how many of you are on here with me. I heard you dinging in, but oh, you know what? I can look up and see it. Okay, new setups. All right, so let's go ahead. Give me that shout out. I got that over here. Make sure to ask your questions about the verse, about that, whatever. Just ask your question over in the chat window, and I'll do my best to get that answered. Just know if you are a bot, you are gonna get caught. Ooh, that rhymed. I'm like a rapper this morning. Ooh, if you're a bot, you're gonna get caught. Anybody got some beatboxing? All right, so enough of that. Okay, so we're going to start with our Benefit Cosmetics Professional Primer. You know, I used to laugh all the time when my husband would do that goofy stuff with the kids. I've lost him. He passed away in November of 21, but I used to laugh when he would do that stuff. And what do I find myself doing this morning? The same dorky stuff. It's like a bad dad joke in makeup form. Okay, so Professional Primer. We're just going to give that a little bit of a shake and press on with what we're supposed to be talking about. Okay, here we go. So just a little bit of that. That's going to go a long way. We're just going to work it between the tips of our fingers, under the eye, any place where you have fine lines and wrinkles, crow's feet, right there, right here for me. I'm a combo skin. So I'm going to get that in my T-zone. Make sure that's going to help mattify and control that oil there. I'm going to get it around my lips so that once I do my lip liner or my lipstick, that is going to stay there and not like creep out into my face because that will be yucky. All right. Now we are going to be using some super fun colors from that Afflano palette. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that Juvia's Place Eye Prep Eye Prime, and that is the eye primer. I am the shade 11-1. And this, I'm just going to give it some pretty good taps because sometimes this does, if it's set for any kind of a time, it'll separate just a little bit. Just shake it up and it'll be fine. Okay, so we're just going to give a little bit of that right there. Keep it near you because we're going to use it for a little bit of a cut crease this morning. And then we're going to finish out that cut crease with some sparkle. I told you. Just a dash of glitter over 40. Okay, there you go. We're going from that lash line all the way up to that brow there. We're just covering that whole thing. So you're going to look like a crazy person for a minute. Enjoy it. It's just going to be for a second. All right. Excuse me. I got a little bit of a cough this morning. Okay. I am going to be using the Lancome Tint Idole. This is the concealer. What am I? I'm the shade 90. There you go. So this is going to help reduce any redness that we've got, any dark circles, any under eye things, any acne scarring, hyperpigmentation of any kind. So I'm just going to take that doe foot and we're just going to put that every place we think we need something to not be there. Okay. Gonna get it right up in here because I got some darkness going on. This is not a contouring thing. This is a concealing thing, which is why you're not doing the cute little out here, in here. If I get one more comment about that, I'm gonna go crazy. This is concealing. Okay, so we're gonna take our middle finger, which is gonna get a little bit of a softer touch. We're just gonna cover that redness there. There we go. I got a couple comments. I'm gonna see if I can grab my mouse. That's exactly right. Good morning, Anthea. Good to see you this morning. And then, yes, that is right. You just got to embrace that crazy sometimes. Okay. Maybe all the time. Okay. Go right there in the center. I mean, if not you, then who? Okay, here we go. Might have been a little scary for a Thursday morning. Okay, we're just using that middle finger. We're just going to tap that around, going right up underneath that so that we are removing that redness. We're getting rid of that darkness. There you go. Now our nose is all clear and now we're lightened, but don't worry, we're not going to leave it like that. We're going to go back over with our foundation, blend it in, and that's what's going to help our face to just be one continuous color so we can contour and add the light and the dark where we want it to be. So let's go ahead and grab that Lancome Tinidol. This is our foundation. I have already dampened my beauty blender. We're going to start out with this end here, and we're just going to give it one pump right there on the backside. Just kind of tap it around. You're just going to put it pretty much where you want it, and then we'll blend it out. So here we go. I see that, Rachel. Okay, and then we're just going to blend down. I'm going to pull that hair back there so I don't end up with foundation. I know my hair is getting kind of long, isn't it? And then we're going to take that, using that same end, we're just going to blend that right up into that concealer. There you go. Around the mouth, we're going to make sure we get up just over the edge of that lip line, just a little tiny bit. All around the nose, up on the nose. Hitting right there. Make sure you got that good. And we're going to make sure we blend out nice under the chin. And you can see now you can't see the crazy stuff except on the forehead, which we haven't done yet. Okay, so just going to do a little partial pump here. That is going to do our forehead. Speaking of foreheads. So just kind of tapping it around. And then once you've got it pretty much everywhere you want it, then you're just going to blend it out. Just sort of buff it up into that hairline a little. We don't want it like on the hair, but you want it worked up into it so that you don't have like a line of, here's where the makeup stops. There's where your hair begins. So just sort of flick it up into there and that'll get you pretty good. Which is another reason why it's important that your foundation matches your skin shade so that way everything's just going to blend very seamlessly. I feel very animated today. I don't know what is going on. Okay. There you go. So now we are all blended out. I'm just going to go under the eye once, make sure I got that good. There we go. Ta-da! Let's cap the foundation so I don't do anything disastrous with that. And then we're going to grab our setting powder. For me right now, it is the MAC Studio Fix. And this one is just the translucent that's just like a kind of a white shade. It just kind of melts into your skin. This is available in different stages of translucency. So if you have more pigment to your skin than I do, test out some of those other ones. They do just kind of melt in and become invisible, but it does help to kind of have that base color to be closer to your skin. So this one, you just pop that. That looked like a science experiment, didn't it? Did you see that? I'm not going to do it twice, but that was crazy. Okay, so we're going to take the puff that comes with it and you just press it in. And then we're going to start out under the eye. I don't know why that powder is being so fluffy today. It literally looks like, oh, what's that guy's name? Bill Nye the Science Guy. Well, that's reaching back. Okay, we're just going to press that in. And this is just going to set that powder so that our matte will continue all day. And the foundation is just going to stay put. It also helps that when we get ready to do the contouring, that because we're using, or I'm using anyways, a powder contour, it just gives it something to blend into a little bit nicer. And I just like how it finishes off the skin. Also, I cannot stand, as a combo skin, I cannot stand that sort of damp, feel on the face. So this will help with that also. The other thing I love about this particular one is that if you have a little bit of wrinkles or a lot of bit of wrinkles, this one's not going to like seep into the wrinkles and make like that cakey thing. You can use it right up underneath that eye, which is where I have some wrinkles, and it's not going to do anything. So I love this powder for that reason. Very lightweight, milled very fine, very just super nice. So that's the MAC Studio Fix. So enjoy that right there. All right, so now that we're all one color, we are going to add color where we want it. So I'm going to grab my KVD Everlasting Shapeless Light Refillable Contouring Palette, and we are going to start out with our IT Cosmetics dual-ended brush. Have used several different ones, just like this one the best. So we're going to use this end for the contouring. Choose the shade that is closest to your skin color, and then we're just going to swipe it in there. We're going to go from the top of the ear in a curved motion right to about the corner of the eye. We're going to stay above the hollow of that cheek there so that we lift up that cheek. And because I do have a little bit longer hair, I'm going to pull that hair back just a smidge. And then we're going to go right beside that hairline. Now, I often get asked, when you do it, your contouring looks a little bit on the dark side. It does in this lighting, but if you're doing it for like taking pictures and all that, it is going to be just a little bit darker. And also, because it's a little bit darker, you can see where I'm going. If I do it lighter, then you're going to have a hard time following along. So, a bunch of different things why my contouring in the video looks a little bit darker than what you might do in person. Okay, pulling that hair back, going from the top of that ear, staying above that hollow of that cheek, going right to the corner of the eye there, and then right beside that hairline. Also, we all have different looks and ways we want to look. So you do as little or as much as you would like for the look that you want to achieve. And we're going to do it also right along that hairline. And we're gonna get it right along the hairline. Then we're just gonna use a circular motion to buff it out a little bit. That way it gets nice and soft looking. What was that? Bill Nye episodes did a rerun on Thursday. Just say thank you, Rachel. Now I'm gonna use the side of that brush right here. We're just gonna go in the side there like that. I'm gonna go neutral face from under the ear to about the corner of the mouth, just right under that jawline. And that is going to help give a more of a definite stop to that jawline. If you have double chin or triple chin or whatever the case may be, this is definitely going to be your friend because it's going to give you the appearance of more going in underneath that jawline. So make sure you do that. I'm just going to give it a little tap. We're going to go from the inner eye to the end of the nose and then right under that tip. There you go. All right, so that is our low for our contouring. We're just gonna keep working our way up. I'm gonna grab my fluffy MAC brush, and then I'm gonna grab my Juvia's Place Volume 4, which is these beautiful guys. We're gonna have quite a bit of pink happening up here today. So I'm gonna stick with the lighter one just because I don't want it to like conflict. So let's go ahead and grab that. We're just gonna do 2 swipes here, right on the top of that contour there and right up the center there. 2 swipes right on the top of that. right up the center there. One swipe, gonna go right up on that forehead. Just kind of give a little color on top of that bronzer that we did, just to give you a little more flavor all the way around. Right on the tip of that nose, right on that chin. There you go. So now we've got a little bit of color. We have our lows. Now let's go ahead and add some highlight in there. So I'm using today the Benefit Cosmetics. This is Cookie. I'm using the Anastasia highlighter brush. And so any highlighter brush will work, though. I just happen to like this one. I like the way the handle feels. I like the little fluffiness of the tip. So find one that works for you. Cookie's got like a little tiny bit of a shimmer, little bit of a pink to it. So I thought it paired well with the eye that we're going to be doing today. So we're just going to swirl that around a couple times, right on the top of that pink and on the top of that cheekbone, and then right beside the eye socket. Go ahead and do that again. Swirl that right here, right here. Then we're going to do it again. We're going to go right down the center of the face and make sure we hit that little tip of that nose right there. And then the Cupid's bow. I'm just going to blend that out just a little bit. There you go. We may come back with a little extra touch up, depending on how much fallout we have from the shadow, just to give us a little sparkle as we finish out our thing today. And I feel a sneeze coming on, so I'm going to apologize in advance for the sneeze that is coming. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and let's say our Bible verse together, which is scrolling across your screen right now. Do you want to be counted wise, to build a reputation for wisdom? Here's what you do. Live well, live wisely, live humbly. It's the way you live, not the way you talk, that counts. Mean-spirited ambition isn't wisdom. Boasting that you are wise isn't wisdom. Twisting the truth to make yourself sound wise isn't wisdom. It's the furthest thing from wisdom. It's animal, cunning, devilish plotting. Sorry, I talk a little bit fast. Whenever you're trying to look better than others or get the better of others, things fall apart and everyone ends up at the other's throats. All right, and that's James 3:13 through 16. Let's get on with our lips today. Let me make sure I grab the right thing because I do not want to put lip liner on my eyes. We're going to be using two things for our lips today. First thing that we're going to use is the NYX lip liner, and this is in the shade Blackberry. And then we're going to step into our MAC lipstick using some Candy Yum Yum. So let's start out with that Blackberry NYX lip pencil. We want to make sure we got a nice sharp tip on that, which I don't at the present moment. So we're just going to give that a little bit of a sharp couple. There we go. Just a couple of turns and you should be good to go. We're going to start out in that Cupid's bow. And we're just going to line the outside edge just outside the lips a little bit. Then we're going to come inside, feather it just a little bit. We're going to drag it with our finger. Then we're going to put our lipstick on because this is going to be an ombre from black to light pink. So we want to make sure that ombre is a nice, smooth transition. Okay, so Cupid's bow. And you'll see this one is a black, but not like a totally black. So that Blackberry just gives us kind of a nice balance with that little hint of kind of pinky purple to it. Okay, now we're going to go outside that lip line just a little bit and round that out to the outside corner. There you go. Same thing on the other side. Okay, now we're going to go in the bottom and the center. And we're going to round that out just on the outside of that lip line to the outside corner. Now, this is a very bold lip liner, so right now anyways. So we want to make sure that we have our shape good here. So go ahead and check your shape, make sure both sides are even and that you like the way that it's looking. Okay, like that. So now we're going to come to the inside of that line we just did. You're going to use shorter, lighter strokes just inside that line. Don't go too wide, just a little bit. And we're leaving that center nice and clear, so when we put that candy yum yum on right there in the center, it will stay nice and fresh. Okay, so now that we got that there, we're gonna take our middle finger and we're gonna move it where it's mostly on the inside of your lip, but we're gonna drag that feathery line we just did just a little bit. So just start on one end and just drag it a little. And now we're gonna do the same thing on the bottom. And that just feathers it out a little bit so we get kind of a nice ombre from that. Now, let's grab our candy yum yum, that delicious, beautiful pinky color. You see, there you go. And we're gonna start out where we didn't put the lip liner in the center. Okay, so now it looks a little weird, but don't worry, hang on. So take the lipstick, now that you've done the center part, now you're going to go from the outside liner to where you just put it. So just take that, use the top edge of that on the liner line. Here you go. And you can see now it has blended out nicely. So now let's do the bottom. Okay, so let me get in close. You can see it just gave you a nice little blend there. You can add a lip gloss if you want to. I'm not really a glossy girl, so there's that. Okay, so that is all nice. Got that nice little black going on. It would totally make sense once we get the pink on our eyes. So let's take a look at... Okay, yes, that is true. It's Candy Yum Yum. So check the show notes and you'll find a link that'll take you to that. Almost all the links are going to go to Amazon just to make it easy for you and so that you know you can trust the site where you're getting it from. So today, we are going to be using the Afflano palette. This is also from Amazon, Afflano, and this is called Rose Curse. Kind of hard to read there, so here you go, Rose Curse. And this one has some beautiful colors. So here's where we're going to be living at today. We are going to be in the skeleton, which is this color here. We're going to use that up in the brow bone. Then we're going to be in the curse, this one right here. We're going to dip our toe just a little bit into Satan. Don't try to make too much out of that. That's just the name of the color. And then we're going to be using this color here with a cut crease. And then we're going to do some fun, I promise, glitter. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab a fluffy brush. This is a Morphe M433, and we're just going to get it into this color here, which is skeleton, right there. We just want a little bit of it. You don't want your eye to turn white up here. We're just trying to give something to blend into. So just get that skeleton right up there. It sounds weird when you say it like that. Okay, we're just going to use that skeleton right up on there. There we go. All the way into that brow, just giving us a color to blend into. We may use a touch of that on the inside. Let's just go ahead. Just get a little bit and just go right in here. Not like a whole lot. We're just gonna like lighten it a little bit. Okay. And we're going to set that brush aside and let's use this one right here. This is a Morphe M3, I think it's 21. Anyways, it's a kind of a cross between a smudger and a blender. But anyways, you'll use that one. It's an M321. That is what it is. Okay, we're going to go into this color right here, which is Curse. We're just going to get a little bit on there. And it doesn't really matter if you go too far down because we're going to cut crease, so it's going to get covered over. but you don't want to waste shadow either. So I'm just going to go right on that brow bone where you can feel your bone right there. And we're just going to do that. And then we're going to blend it up just a little. So I'm going to set that down. And then I'm just going to work it up a little bit. Okay, we're going to do that same thing on the other side. We're just going right on that bone right there. And I am going to have it go out a little. So I'm going to bring it out right there. Yeah, I should do that on the other side too. Right there. And now we're going to blend that out. So where the gray meets the white, you're just going back and forth with a little bit of a light touch. Feel like it's got a little light in spots, just tap it. You don't got to do too much. Just go like that. And then I'll just get enough color on there that you will be good. So we're going to do that. Now, if at any point you think, oh my gosh, I blended too far, just grab your fluffy brush and just go back on the top of it like this, and that will minimize what you just did. If you need to dip it in the white a little, do that. No big deal. Okay. I'm going to take that right there. We're going to come down. And we're going to go, I don't know, maybe a quarter of the way right here. There you go. Same thing on the other side. We're just extending that line down. And we're just doing that outside corner. And then I'm going to go ahead and feather that just a little bit right there. So when I add that pink, which is a very much a lighter color, it's already kind of light and ready to go. Now I want to add a little intensity and definition on that outside edge. So I'm going to grab, let's see, let's do, oh, there we go. There we go. Let's do this one right here. This is a little bit of a longer smudger. This is a Morphe M124, I think that is. It's a smudger, but it's a little bit long. So you get a little bit more, I don't know, flow with it. So it's easier for blending to me. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to go in that Satan just on the tip of it, like just on the very tip. And we're going to go right here, right on that outside edge. Oh man, did you see that fallout just happen? Look at that. That's okay. We'll get into just a second. You know, as you use different shadow companies, you will find some are worse about fallout than others. And black is always a vicious color for fallout. So we're probably going to have to do some foundation reconnaissance. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my fluffy brush here. And we're just going to sweep that away and see. Oh, that's actually not too bad. There you go. Usually if you catch it kind of early on, you'll be good, but that was a lot. Okay, so now that we've got that going in, actually, I don't think we need to do the whole cut crease thing because that came out kind of nicely. So I'm just going to leave it like that, and you'll see why in just a second. So let's go ahead and we'll clean up that top line there, but you'll see why I don't think it's really going to matter here in a minute. So I'm going to get just a general shadow brush. This is a MAC something, and we're just going to use that to get this right here, which is, what is this one called? Lolita, right here. We're just going to go in Lolita, and now that I'm scared about fallout, I'm just going to swipe on one side, and we're going to put that Lolita right there in the void that we left, we're going to go to the inside corner. We added that white there, so it should help soften that. There you go. Just right there. Same thing on the other side. Yeah, and you know, I know, right? It's not my first time to use a palette, but I hadn't used that particular color before, so I just didn't know how that was going to be. I love the Urban Decay's Blackout Black. That one's really nice too. It doesn't quite have as much fallout as that one we just used, but I was talking and I think I might have just loaded the brush too much while I was yapping. Okay. Now, just because I can, I'm going to take that same brush and I'm just going to do one little thing here. And I'm just going to put it right there. I just want like a little bit of this. Just right there. Okay. Doop, doop. Just right there. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the brush that we used when we did this one right here, which is the curse. And I'm just going to make sure that that blend right there is nice and kind. There we go. I got a little something happening right here. There we go. We're going to go into that Lolita just a little bit and soften that edge because something funky is going on there. There we go. Okay. So we've actually got kind of a nice cut crease already going on. So I'm just going to take just a small smudger that we're going to use on the underneath of the eye anyways. This one is a Morphe M. Man, I can't read small things today. 508, I believe this one is. So we're going to take that and we're going to go into that curse. And what we're going to do is we're just going to clean up the edge of this like that. So you're not adding anything. You're just cleaning up that edge to be a little crisper and smooth. There we go. And then we don't have to add another product onto our eyelid. Okay. You can see that really cleaned that line up. And now we should be ready to go. Let's go ahead. Let's do the under eye and then we'll do the glitter I spoke about on the top. So same brush that we just used there. Using that same thing we just used, curse. We're going to go under the eye here. And we're just going to hug right against that lash line. Doesn't take a whole lot of that one. I'm just going to clean that brush off, or if you got another one, go ahead and do that. I'm going to go into that Lolita, and we're going to use it right here on the inside just to soften that inside corner a little bit. And on the bottom, I'm not going to use any of that rose, the one that we used on the middle part. Not going to do any of that on the bottom. Going to keep it simple on the bottom. I know, right? Wendy being simple. What? Okay. Same brush. We're going to go just a little doop into the Satan. We're going to put it right here on the outside corner, just barely on that corner so we can blend up into the top. That'd be Wesley talking for you. Okay. Now I do see there's quite a bit of fallout on that bottom. So let me show you with this right here. Wesley, honey. We're just going to add some powder to it. And I'm going to clean up some of that fallout that happened over there. Now, I mentioned earlier that we would probably come back and add some more highlight. And now we're definitely going to need to do that because I'm swiping some of it away. Okay, so that cleans up that. And now we can press on with what we're doing. So we are going to do a little bit of a wing on here, as you can tell by the shape that we have going. So let's go ahead and we're going to do the wing and then we're going to do the glitter because I think it will be easier to do that way. So I'm going to grab my Juvia's Place. This is the Egyptian. Oh, I'm not over there yet. The Egyptian, what is it called? Egyptian pencil liner. And this is in the color of Kajal. And we want a nice good tip on that. So again, we're just going to give it like 3 twists in here. And give it a nice little tip. That actually needs to be a little bit better. I'm feeling like it's sticking just a little bit in the pencil sharpener. There we go. So we're going to go from the outside corner. We're just going to go about halfway. There we go. Just going to do it. Let's go ahead and do it on the bottom. We're going to go into that water line right here on that outer third. And then we're going to follow that lash line about halfway. There we go. I want it to end right about where my pupil is. That way my eye will be opened up and not closed down as a result of that. So we're going to grab our liquid liner now. And we're going to do that wing that we talked about. So grabbing that liner, going to go from the inside right along that lash line. And then we're going to take it and bring it in. I'm going to extend it out to where that shadow is. And let's just cross it across and fill it in. There you go. You can see we've got that happening right there. Let's go ahead and do that same thing on the other side now. And we're going to go to the outside edge of that shadow, bring that in. And then we're going to fill it in. You can see what that looks like there from the top. And so now we've got that nice winged liner going on. We're just going to kind of let that dry for just a little bit. Wow, that came out super pretty. I can't wait till you see the last step of this though. So it's not going to touch what we're working on right now. So we're just going to go ahead and do it. So I'm going to grab, this is the Urban Decay. This is the Moon Dust Liquid Eyeliner, and this is in the shade Glam Rock. If you don't already own this, you need to own this. So there are so many things that you can do with this. So we're just going to, first off, if you haven't already like shaken it and used it, go ahead and give it a shake. We're going to uncap that. You can see it's got this beautiful eyeliner brush on it. So make sure that you're pulling it in and out of the container nice and smoothly so your brush doesn't fray and stays nice. So be gentle with it. So we're going to uncap that right where the pink and the gray are meeting. You're just going to line that right here. Look at that. And then we're going to bring it out to here. And then down just a little. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with that. I'm going to go over it twice. There you go. Now, we're going to do the same thing. Same thing. Same thing on the other side. Okay, here we go. And then we're just going to bring that down. There you go. Okay, now we'll do it the second time. I know I told you, right? Isn't it beautiful? Okay. So if you have hooded eyes like I do, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you're kind of looking down for a second. Let that glitter liner set just a little bit before you go on to your next thing, because you don't want to muss it up. So, oh my goodness, I'm in love with that. Ah! Okay, look at that. I know, right? Oh, look, it already did it. Ah! I looked down too fast. I looked down too fast. Okay, let me grab a paintbrush so I can fix that before it becomes too much of a thing. Yes, it happens. It happens. So I'm just going to grab that, and let's just fix it. Okay, and now, squint, Wendy, squint. Okay. Okay, there we go. So while I'm looking down, we're going to, and I thought it felt like it was dry enough, but yeah, evidently it wasn't dry all the way, or I opened too big. So I'm going to go ahead and not use that. That was my eyeliner. That would be disastrous on my brow. I'm going to grab the Lime Crime. Actually, let's go this way. This is the Lime Crime Bushy Brow. And sorry, I'm trying to get over here. Oh, let me see. Okay, so question about the lip liner. That is not an eyeliner. It is actually a lip liner. That is the NYX lip liner and is in the shade Blackberry. So it's actually a lip liner. If you go to the show notes, it will, sorry, Anthea. If you go to the show notes, you'll see that is in there. It is a NYX lip liner and it is in the shade Blackberry. Okay. Anthea. You know, girl, I feel you on that one, which is why I'm having to like look down for a minute to make sure that liner dries down, because it does because it does take it just a second to dry. And I don't know where I get the idea. Sometimes I see pictures and I just tweak it until I like it. Sometimes you can't even tell what the original picture looked like by the time I'm done with it. But sometimes, God gives me visions in my sleep, and it just like, I don't know, there's a thing. I don't think I've ever, maybe once, in season 2, that I've come with a palette and had no idea what look I was going to do, just like do it on the fly. That has happened before, but it's not usually the norm. Usually I pre-do the look just to make sure I got the blend, the right colors. Sometimes the colors that you think don't actually mix together, or they perform a little differently on your skin versus when they're in the palette. So I don't know. You just kind of play with it and do it. So, okay. So now I'm to the Lime Crime Bushy Brow. So whatever your brow product is, oh my gosh, look, for the first time, I actually opened the right end the first time. Okay. So whatever your brow product is, you can go ahead and use that here. I am using the Bushy Brow because I do have the remnant of anime still on the side. I need to get my hair colored this weekend, and I don't want to add anything else to it because the color I'm going to, it will interfere, and so I don't want it to, the blue, because blue tends to stick really well in my hair, and so if you put it in there and then try to color or bleach it out, it kind of turns this like funky greeny color, not attractive. So I'm just sort of waiting it out. So just a little bit of that blue left in there. Okay, so same thing on the other side theoretically. Here we go. We're just gonna flick that pomade pencil up. There are lots of different kinds of pomade pencil like this. I know there's one from Benefit Cosmetics. I can't remember the name of it, but they're all kind of the same thing. They're usually a teardrop shape like that. And then I usually put the pointed side up, and then I'm using the bottom, the rounded side, as kind of like the base as I work around. And then you're just sort of flicking it. Now, the good thing about a pomade pencil is that it's soft, and they don't usually like dry down, but unless you're like touching and rubbing and picking at your brow or something, it'll usually stay in place very well. If God gave you a lot of brow hair, Lord help you, how beautiful that must be, because I don't have that. But you may need to use a brow setter like the one from Benefits, just so that everything stays in place. What is that? Oh, it's like a shadow. So that everything stays in place once you get it there. All your hairs stay nicely in there, in place. They don't move. It doesn't, because I am all about, once you do your makeup, man, I don't want to be thinking about it for the rest of the day. So I am going to set and do whatever it takes just to make sure. And, total transparency, it is not out of the question to think about Wendy overspraying her hairspray just to have that hairspray kind of set a little bit on your face. I truly believe, because I've been doing that for years, I truly believe that's where the setting spray idea came from, was people who use their hairspray to set their makeup. Okay, so now I'm going to use that little brush tip. And I'm just going to do that here, because when I first saw setting spray the first time, I was like, that's a beautiful idea. I've been doing that since 9th grade. We're not going to talk about how long ago that was, but that is one of the things that I did as a kid, learning how to do makeup. I always used a little overspray of my hairspray, maybe accidentally, on my face. Whether or not that was a good thing to do, don't know, but it worked. So I'm just going to go under that with the white brush that we had, and we're just going to feather that out. It looks like I didn't get any up here today, so that's a good thing. Here we go. I do see this right here, so we're just going to go over that right there. Soften that just a little smidgy. Okay, so now we've got our glam rock just shimmering nicely and sparkly up there. We got that mock cut crease going on. We got that beautiful pink for our October breast cancer awareness. We are going to go ahead and come back in with a little cookie, since I had to do some extra weapon around up there. So I'm just going to swirl that, go right here. Go right up the side there. You can never have enough. Can you ever have enough glitter? I don't think so. Here we go. So we're just going to add that right there. Now, again, as we talked about, I want to make sure that, well, actually, we're not to that place yet. Wendy, how about if we put our lashes on first? We just started talking about setting spray and I got all confused. So I'm going to grab my lash curler, and don't fear, today we are not going to use that whole verse as our lash curler, because I think our lashes would probably be harmed in protest for how long that verse is. So go ahead and grab your eyelash curler. We're just going to use like 2 sentences at a time to do the timing for our lashes. So grab that eyelash curler, find your sweet spot. Now that everything's dried, the liner is dried, the glam rock is dried, everything is dried, so we can use that the lash curler now without fear, and then put our mascara on. So we're going to crimp that down just a little bit, and we're going to say, let's see what verse we got going in cross of our head. We got, I can't even read what verse. Well, let's just start somewhere. Okay. Twisting the truth to make yourselves sound wise isn't wisdom. It's the furthest thing from wisdom. It's animal cunning, devilish plotting. Whenever you're trying to look better than others or get the better of others, things fall apart and everyone ends up at the other's throats. And I can't wait till you hear the song that goes with that one. I'll have to see at the end if it's actually working. Okay, here we go. So we're going over this. Oh, let me see what we got. There's infinity, 3 seconds, side spray. Yes. So, Lord, we got someone else that does the hairspray thing as well. And then evidently, thank you, Anthea, that L'Oreal has an infinity 3-second setting spray. Yes. So, and not all hairsprays are created equal. So you can't just take any old hairspray before y'all stop doing that. You can't just take any old hairspray and start spraying your face with that. I am not saying that. Please do not do that. But it's just natural. When you spray your hair, there's going to be some overspray on your face. Well, that's all I'm talking about. So don't be Aquanet in your face or Tresemme in your face or whatever. Please don't do that. So we definitely know more now about chemicals and things in different products. So a little light overspray from your hair is one thing. Actually spraying your face with hairspray, totally different thing. So we'll talk about a good setting spray here in just a minute. So back to the lash curling. Here we go. So we're going to do the other side here. Here we go. Don't you want to be counted wise to build a reputation for wisdom? Here's what you do. Live well, live wisely, live humbly. It's the way you live, not the way you talk, that counts. And then just because I was talking, I'm just going to creep this side for just a little bit of a second there. Okay, mean-spirited ambition isn't wisdom. Boasting that you are wise isn't wisdom. Okay, that's enough for our curling. So let's go ahead and grab our Fenty Beauty. This is the Hella Thick in, I think it's Cause I'm Black is the name of the color. So we're just going to do a little bit of that because we are definitely wearing false lashes with this glam look today. And I just love all these pink looks that we're doing. We're just going to give a one coat of mascara here, making sure we're wiping back on those tips. We're going all the way from one end to the other so that our lashes are beautifully covered in black so that they match seamlessly with those false lashes, unless you were just gifted by God with black lashes. And even people who have dark hair usually don't have black hair, so I would still encourage you to do this no matter your hair color. Also, you'll get the extra volume benefit from it if you do that. So we're going to go again all the way from one side to the other. We're just doing one nice light little coat here. And actually, I think because we got so much dark going on, we're going to come back in and tight line just a little bit. So let's go ahead and do the bottom lashes. And we're going to go from root to tip down here. And these do not get false lashes, so make sure you get good coverage on those. Okay, let's do the same thing on the other side. I did not know what that weird music is in the background. They keep changing the song just a little bit. It almost sounds like a marching band kind of thing. I don't know. A little weird, but whatever. There it goes. Okay. Yes, that was the sound of my earpiece coming out, so I couldn't hear you for a moment there. Here we go. So now that we got that, let's go ahead and tight line just a little bit to make sure I grab the Juvia's Place and not that lip liner. I'm just going to take that pencil and I'm just going to go on the waterline on the upper. I just think we got so much dark going on here. I feel like it's going to need that. There you go. Do that same thing on the other side. You can see how that looks different from the underside there. It's just the waterline, but up on the top. And then you're just going up into the lashes there. I think in the end, that's going to give us a much smoother look with the lashes. Okay, so speaking of lashes, we are going to be using the Juvia's Place. This is the Nubian lash in Zaria. Love the flared look of this. And guess what I don't have with me today? I don't have my lash tools. So today, we're just going to be using Plano tweezers. I believe these are Revlons. Okay, so we're going to grab that lash just on that outside corner, pull it off that tray gently, set it down in front of you. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to start in the outside corner, well, which is over here. Grab that lash, take it off that tray, set it down in front of you. Just going to make sure, because I have wore these before, so these have already been trimmed to the size of my lashes. Just make sure everything's all nice and clear and smooth. There we go. If you have, now I do, which is not on the table with me right now, but if you have a lash comb, which I highly recommend, if anything gets like tangled in your lashes or whatever, then you can have that little comb to just kind of comb it out. Now, I will tell you another tip for lashes and hairspray. So whenever I have my lashes already on and I go, because I fix my hair after I've done my makeup, you want to make sure that you are covering over your lashes when you hairspray, because what will happen now, if you just love buying lashes, you can totally ignore this comment. If you do not cover where your hairspray is going to be falling down, it's going to get on your lashes and they are eventually going to get a hairspray buildup, just like your hair would get. And there's going to be kind of a white casting thing to it. So if you're like me and you fix your hair after you have done all of your makeup, just kind of hold your hand like that a little bit. When you're spraying, it will protect your eyelashes, false lashes, from getting that on there. And then you always get that nice clean black lash because you won't have hairspray buildup on it. So just that little tip for you. Okay, so yesterday I had an issue with an inside lash on one of these. So we're just going to take that and we're going to get that little extra adhesive off there. There we go. So I'm going to grab that lash. I'm going to grab it right there in the center. We're going to grab our adhesive, which is the Kiss. And this is the strip lash adhesive. It has aloe in it. Love this one. Give it a little bit of a shake. It has a brush on the tip of it, so make sure you're going in and out gently. We're going to get it right there on the top of that band. And I'm going to put it in. I'm going to get it right there on the back of that band. When you first put it on, it's going to be white. No worries, it is not going to stay white. I'm going to make sure that I pay special attention to the outside corners, because that is where you are going to most likely experience lift on your lashes. Then I'm going to set it down in front of me. I'm going to grab the other one. And we're going to do that same thing. We're going to get the top of the band first. And we're going to go back in and we're going to get the edge of the back side of that. Now I see right here, I got some little something. There we go. Going to make sure we pay special attention to those outside corners. There we go. Now we're going to cap the adhesive, because you want to make sure you keep that covered so that it doesn't dry out faster than absolutely necessary. So when the glue goes on, it is white. At least this one is anyways. And it's shiny. All of them will be shiny. Once it starts to dry down a little bit, about 30 seconds or so, as long as we're going to have this conversation, and then it'll start to get a little kind of dull in spots. When that happens, you know that you are in the right place to now pick up your lash and put your lash on. So we should be just about ready now. Again, these are a flare, so you will see that it is shorter here, longer out here. So this is going to be the inside. Now, I guess you could be weird and put it on the other way, but that would be strange. It's Halloween though, so maybe you could do it. We're just going to take that lash. We're going to set it right there in the middle where we put that liner line. We're going to come to the inside corner. I like my lash tool better than tweezers. And we're going to take the outside corner here and we're going to put it on that liner line right out there. We're just going to make sure everybody's in the right space together, that inside corner is on that liner line. When you put your lash on, if it feels wet, you probably didn't wait quite long enough before you put the lash on. So it should feel a little tiny bit cold, but you shouldn't really feel wetness. Okay, there we go. And you can see that glitter line just peeking over that right there. And that pink with that cut crease going on. You got that wing going on. Wow, 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 wow. I really like this. Okay, so let's grab the lash from the other side. We're going to just grab that right there in the middle. Set it in the middle. Oh, little adhesive there. Oh, there we go. Okay. We're going to put the inside edge down right on that liner line. Grab the outside edge, get it on that liner line. And I'm just going to take the tip of that, make sure my lashes are working in with those lashes. Pressing down just a little bit. Just want to make sure everybody is happy and touching the skin the way they should be. So here's what we've got from the top looking down. You can see that wing liner just going out. And then from the top, you can see how, because we use that tight line there, that just gives us a nice finish on the edge. Even when you look up, all you can see is the darkness up there. So it just kind of intensifies that look. And because these are a flare, it really helps to draw that eye to the outside where we've got that wing and that intensity happening with the colors over there. All right, so now that we have got all that going on, now we can come back to that conversation about setting spray. So I'm going to grab my Ready, Set, Sealed. This is an approved setting spray. Yeah, exactly right. Definitely no Aquanet. That is true. That is true. So we're going to use our Ready, Set, Sealed. We're going to give that a little bit of a shake, and then we're going to spray that down. There you go. This is an approved facial setting spray. It will also help your glitter liner a little bit. And I see I've got right here a little bit of overage. There we go. From the adhesive to the lash. There we go. Okay, so this has been an exciting day. Let's go ahead and we're going to let's see if we can go back up here and if the song is available. There we go. Okay, and here is the song for last week.
Shout hallelujah when the choir's on fire. Then fuss at your sister about her old attire. Praises on your lips, but the heart's gone wrong. Girl, that ain't right. This can't go on, my friend. This can't go on. A spring doesn't gush fresh water one day and brackish the next, does it? Apple trees don't bear strawberries, do they? Yeah. Raspberry bushes don't bear apples, do they? Yeah. You're not going to tend to a polluted mud hole, yeah, and get a cup of clear, cool water, are you? You told your kids, be kind, be still, then lost your cool, your tongue can't.
All right, so I will let you finish the. Hold on, now I can't get the other one back on. I'll let you finish listening to that on your favorite streaming platform. But that was our song that we're doing for last week. So let me go ahead and see if I can get down. There we go. Lost myself for a second there. So we are in chapter 3. And we're going to be taking a look at from 3 verse 1 all the way to where we are now. So beginning in chapter 3 verse 1, don't be any rush to become a teacher, my friend. Teaching is highly responsible work. Teachers are held to the strictest of standards. Let's see, held to the strictest of standards. Oh, and none of us are perfectly qualified. We get it wrong nearly every time we open our mouth. If you could find someone whose speech was perfectly true, you'd find a perfect person in perfect control of life. And then we moved on to our next verse. A bit in the mouth. I love this song. A bit in the mouth of a horse controls the whole horse. A small rudder in the hands of a skilled captain sets the course in the face of the strongest winds. A word out of your mouth may seem of no account, but it can accomplish nearly anything or destroy it. And it only takes a spark, remember, to set off a forest fire. A careless or wrongly placed word in the hands... careless and strongly placed word out of your mouth can do that. But by our speech, we can ruin the world, turn harmony into chaos, throw mud on a reputation, and send the whole world up in smoke and go up in smoke with it. Smoke with it. Oh, right from the pit of hell. This is scary. You can tame a tiger, but you can't tame a tongue. It's never been done. The tongue runs wild, a wanton killer. With our tongues, we can bless God, our Father. With the same tongues, we can curse the very men and women He made in His image. Curses and blessings out of the same mouth. Okay, and then our verse from last week. My friends, this can't go on. A spring doesn't gush fresh water one day and then brackish the next, does it? Apple trees don't bear strawberries, do they? Raspberry bushes don't bear apples, do they? You're not going to dip into a polluted mud hole and get a cup of clear, cool water, are you? And then our verse for today. Okay, this one I'm not going to know. I'm going to have to grab the sheet for this one. Okay. Do you want to be counted wise? To build a reputation for wisdom, here's what you do. Live well, live wisely, live humbly. It's the way you live, not the way you talk, that counts. Mean-spirited ambition isn't wisdom. Boasting that you are wise isn't wisdom. Twisting the truth to make yourself sound wise isn't wisdom. It's the furthest thing from wisdom. It's animal cunning, devilish plotting. Whenever you try to look better than others or get the better of others, things fall apart and everyone ends up at the other's throats. All right. So again, all of these verses are coming from Color Me James. You can pick that up at colormejamesbook.com. Now, one thing that particular page does for you is get you connected to the email list. And no matter where you start, that email list is going to guide you from James 1:1 all the way through to now. A week at a time, it will send you the email that'll have the verse flashcards. It'll have, I think the coloring pages are attached. The flip chart for the verses is in there. The videos for each different one are all going to be in there. I mean, it's just all laid out for you. So that will definitely guide you through that. So make sure you go to colormejamesbook.com and get connected there. All right. That is not working. So speaking of getting connected, we've got the Beauty and Grace Insider, 3 different membership levels. The Cherished Queen level. That is the top membership level. That one gets you a free copy of the ebook. That's the word I was looking for earlier, which is the PDF. So you can have that on your tablet or your phone, and you can actually color in the coloring pages, or you can use your pen on the tablet using a different app and write that in. And again, the Cherished Queen, when you join the email list for that, that's going to send you all the directions, get you connected to all the apps that you'll need to maximize that ebook And that ebook, again, just comes free with that membership level. Also, if you're on YouTube and you've seen any of those fun emojis coming through, then you will notice that those are all from the Beauty and Grace Insider members, because they get all those cute little emojis. I haven't actually been on the YouTube just yet, but they get all of those. They get the. I'm so glad you like that. So I was just looking at Anthea there. She said she likes the song to that one. Yes, that one was hard, super hard. Literally, it took more time than some of the others. And the one for this week that we have, equally as difficult and challenging. Some things I love about doing the music for this, as the writer for Selah. I love that it forces me to have to dig into what are those verses, what is before the verses, what is after the verses, and what are the verses talking about. And I love that personally, it causes me to dig deep and think. And sometimes it pulls out of me testimony about the verse, and sometimes it pulls out of me spankings to myself about the verse. So I hope that all of that helps guide you through and helps you memorize. This song for this week, I don't know that it's really going to help you memorize the verse per se, but it definitely is a storytelling that will really help you grasp the concepts of what the verse cluster this week is talking about. So, all right. Let's see. Let's go to next. Let me speak a blessing over you. We are going to pray and then close this out. So here we go. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. Heavenly Father, how thankful I am for each one of these ladies, whether they are here live hanging out with me, or they are watching this later on recorded, or maybe they're watching this years later. Prayer still stands the same, Father, that you would send a blessing on each one of these women, that you would help us to really have ears to hear and eyes to see what it is that you would show us in these verses that we are working on, that we're using as we go through the Color Me James study, as we do our various projects and listen to the music and all of that, Father, that you would just bless them through these words that you have given in your word. We know that they have been given to us for showing us and giving us instruction in righteousness and how to live our daily life. Father, giving us the tools that we do not possess to live a Christ-like life. I just pray that you would send them out this week celebrating the woman of God that they are, that we would remember as we're playing with these pink colors, those who have gone before us and those who will go after us with regards to breast cancer awareness, breast cancer research, that you would put your hands on all of the doctors and medical teams that are involved in that, and that you would just bring about a healing for this disastrous disease that takes so many people that we love from us, men and women. Father, I just pray all these things in the precious and holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right. Well, this has been a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus, and it has been exciting to hang out here with you this morning. I look forward to seeing you throughout this week on social media. Ask me any questions that you got, except not on my Facebook page, because I just don't have that back yet. Working on it, not back yet. So make sure, head over to Instagram or YouTube, because those are going to be the best ways to get in touch with me. And I look forward to seeing you, hanging out with you. Let me see your looks. Let me see what palette you used. If you have a certain look or color combination or palette that you would like to use, we can definitely try to make that happen. I know I've got quite a few of you from other countries, so I may or may not be able to get hold of the palette that you suggest, but maybe I could find something that's in those colors and do that same thing. Definitely open. This is a family, a community here, and we're just all here to celebrate being women of the Most High God who get the joy and privilege of finger painting every morning when we get up. So I look forward to seeing you on a little bit of makeup and whole lot of Jesus.com. Enjoy your word search and your coloring page this week, and I hope that you are blessed. Mwah! Goodbye, and I love you so much.